Welcome to Risky Impact Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. King Chris, and as always, my co-host.
Mr. Chief.
I'd like everyone to sit back and grab a taste of relaxation as you enjoy today's episode. Today, we're talking about the pressures of school,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, it's a little touchy subject for a lot of people,
Right.
whether you were, and this is just strictly about school. So whether if you were someone important in your school or you were just one of those kids that stayed to themselves and got good grades and stayed out the way, or you were that person who wanted to stand out, and I guess we can say some acted a fool and then some were just
Right.
too cool for school, right?
Right. Right.
But pressures, like, when do you think pressures start in school? I feel like elementary school, around maybe third grade and on, is when it actually starts happening.
I don't know. For me personally, I didn't really start feeling like true school pressure
Mhm.
until when did I have Miss Sparks? Seventh grade.
Mm.
Yeah, like that's when truly I started feeling like okay, school pressure.
Yeah,
Um, But I mean, I guess it kind of depends on what district you're in or like the type of school you're going to.
yeah.
Like what were some of the pressure uh what what were some of the pressures you actually felt?
Um, I'd say around. Let's see. I didn't. My school life was okay up until I'd say around sixth grade is when I got a taste of what this schooling system was really for big kids.
Hmm.
Um, that's when you actually go to your classes. Like you're actually able to like walk around by yourself.
Right.
Um, and then get a feel for how kids react to one another in the hallways. So I feel like around, sixth, seventh, I have to say as well, is when I'm like the pressure of standing out started. It's like, okay, how do I leave my mark on people so that, each year I come back to this school, I'm
Right.
someone that, can kind of fit in properly.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of people's problems is fitting in, I would
Right.
say. Either you want to be with the kids in the robotics program, use that
Hmm.
brain for something good, or you want to be with the kids who don't plan to do shit in school,
Right.
and just slack off and that type of stuff. Um, or you could do a mixture of both.
Right. Right.
I believe I was a
Definitely.
mixture of both. I slacked off, but at the same time, I knew I could get it done. Um,
Yeah.
but
Uh, I was the same way, but I was more
mhm,
of like of a fool with it. So
mhm,
But I never really worried about actually fitting in. I was
yeah,
just more so worried about not, well, really, it was just not trying to fit in. I didn't want
mhm,
to do what everybody else was doing. I didn't want to say what everybody else was saying. Like,
yeah,
I just wanted to be myself and truly just and me sticking to me being myself.
mhm,
Of course, I didn't like mingle with everybody, but I mean, there
yeah,
was a fair share. I was able, to have relationships with everyone in every type of standing.
mhm. That is true. That's true. That's true. And to put this into context, um, I went to school for half the school. The time that I was going to school, I went in New York.
Mhm.
Most of my schooling was done in New York.
Right.
I'd say my high schooling was done in Florida.
Okay.
So I can tell you the difference is that New York kind of puts the pressure on you to kind of be something that you're not, you know? I
Mm.
feel like Florida is a bit more free with it. Um, it's not as if I have to be something I'm not.
Right.
The kids aren't as pressuring than you,
Uh-huh.
because in New York it's 24/7. It used to be about style and who was wearing what, or or who
Hmm.
up with who. And in Florida, it's not really like that. It's not really like
Right.
you could be clicked up to people in the library and shit. People in the old school still know you.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I think just um I don't know. I grew up well, I mean, yeah, so I've pretty much had split schooling. I've went
Mhm.
to elementary school in Florida,
Uh-huh.
also in Georgia. Got up to my first 2 years of high school in Georgia,
Uh-huh.
and then came back down to Florida
Mhm.
and finished out here.
Yeah.
So I can say like I don't. I mean, it kind of was a thing in Georgia
Mhm.
of what you're wearing, but it really wasn't even so much of that. It was just more so of like, are you truly cool or are you just like putting on
Mhm.
a front? Because, like,
True.
yeah, but here it's more so just like, I don't know. Here,
Eh,
I think people are more so like, if you're not like them, then you're
mhm.
not going to hang out with them.
Yeah. Yeah, because like in New York, I would have to say the reason why it was really like that is because in the South, there's a lot of extracurricular activities you can do outside of school pertaining to, say, football and
Right.
um, tennis and all those open field
Hmm.
type of sports. In New
Yeah.
York, it really was about basketball. You know,
Okay.
we had basketball, like all the just you go to New York to hoop. To be honest,
Hmm.
and then occasionally you'll have the football teams here and there. I think football starts in high school, while basketball is like in every level, um
Okay.
because not all the schools could afford or had the space to accommodate a football field.
Hmm.
So yeah, high school was where we went for any type of football activities. But in Florida, there's way too much space, or should I say the South has way too much space. So football fields and track fields and all that type of stuff, you'll see it almost everywhere. So I feel like that the kids have something to exert their energy instead of just worrying about what other people are doing.
Right.
While in New York,
Right.
everyone's just worried about what people are doing because they don't got shit to do. And I feel like that's annoying. You should always have something to exert these kids' energy because it's gonna go on somebody else if not, you know.
Right.
Um, but I guess as far as pressures in, I think pressures in high school is a little different. I think high school is where you actually start seeing where what type of adult you might be in the future,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Not even you, just
Hmm.
like the people you're hanging around,
Yeah,
just you truly get a true perspective of where your life is heading.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's not all college is really determines high school really determines if your college experience is going to be what you think it is. Because if you're, say, you're not very talkative and you're an introvert, um truth be told, in college you'll probably be stuck in that dorm room doing work 24/7. You can possibly go to a party or two, but I mean, you being you, are you really gonna step out that comfort zone and go do that type of thing? That's why a lot of people step back and do the schooling at home when they go to college, like online schooling,
Mhm.
because they feel like there's no need to do universities or anything like that because they're not gonna do anything. They
Right.
don't want to be in that crowd.
Right.
While the people in high school that were exhibiting, you know, um, I'm gonna say wild activities,
Hmm.
they'll go on to the universities and they'll do the same thing and act wild.
Right.
So join sororities and brotherhoods and stuff like that
Hmm.
because that's the type of person they were in high school. Um, I can't speak for the ones who dropped out or didn't do anything towards college because that just meant you had a different type of vision for
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Me being one of them, I was that type to always envision myself in a brotherhood or
Hmm.
something like that, but I just felt like I had a different view on things and didn't
Right.
feel like university would be the way, or college in general. I tried the college thing, I really did. It was boring. Let's just say that. Not saying you don't go to college, just saying
Hey, I say
my
fuck
opinion.
college all the way around. But truly, with the stipulation of being whatever your career field choice is,
Hmm.
if it does require a college degree,
Yeah,
absolutely go for it, go hard, go ham.
yeah,
But if the career field you are going into doesn't require it, don't don't waste your time, energy, effort. Get into
yeah.
the career field that you wish to. Go ahead and start establishing your name, and create your progression there. Because I mean, that time, energy
Yeah.
wasted in school, you may want to switch up your career path, and it may be
Hmm.
something that you truly didn't even really want to do. It just seemed like the best thing for the moment, whereas you could have been dedicated to something that you truly like.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah,
A lot of
yeah,
people need to understand that you need to be you when it comes to schooling. Okay. Now,
absolutely.
yeah, you might have a hard time in the lower grades with this because kids can be mean.
Yeah, peer pressure
um,
is a motherfucker.
it really is. But I'd say once you get to high school, you're gonna start seeing a little change in how you can be you, right?
Right.
I'd say me and Chief here are prime examples of how to be yourself in school. At some point when I came to Florida, I did start off in Fort Lauderdale. I did go to I went to a regular school, but then I got kicked out of the school. So then I had to go to an accelerated program, which was a school called Lauderhill High. Um, there is when me and Chief met, and there is when we blossomed into free spirited kids. And
Well, I mean, I was always free,
well, what I
free,
mean
free,
by that is
but
the
you
in the
know,
school we were in, um, it was free spirited.
yeah. I mean, that school was, yeah, that was, it's different. But I mean, you being from New York, I'm pretty sure metal detectors wasn't shit to you. But
Not at
you know,
all. Being
me,
that
but
we needed
yeah,
them.
yeah, y'all needed them. See, like
Mhm.
even in that school, did we really need it? Nah, nah.
Yeah, not really. I mean, not nowadays people are like, "Oh, this wouldn't have happened if metal detectors were." That's another story. But
Yeah, another story, another day.
yeah, the thing about it is, back to peer pressures and everything like that.
Hmm.
You can't just go off of what other people are doing, because half the time you do that, and you end up in something that you shouldn't have been in the first place. You
Hmm.
know, you see all these gangs and stuff out here in school, and you know they're lunch, either throwing their flag up or just repping they set and everything, and you find that cool,
Right.
and now you in a predicament. You're like, damn, what should I
Hmm.
do? Should I join up and be cool now, or do I join because I think joining is gonna turn me into a certain person that ultimately you want, but you're going about it the wrong way.
Just, yeah. Those are definitely big decisions. So, I mean, definitely nothing to be rushed, but definitely something to keep on your mind
Hmm.
as you're going through the process.
Hmm.
Well, through the phases of high school.
Yeah.
Um, but even in middle school, like, well, no, no, hell no, have fun. Do you? No,
You should always have fun in school,
absolutely.
regardless,
Hmm.
because the as once you hit high school, you're gonna look back and you're like, "Damn, what the hell did I really do in school?" But be mopey and just
Right. Definitely
depressed. I
create some
know a
memories.
lot of depressed little kids.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Same here. Yes, absolutely.
And I'm like, you're young, bro. What are you depressed for? You don't even pay bills yet, And then they'll tell me, they're like, oh, well, these kids at school, they don't like me. Da, da, da. I'm just like, who cares?
Yeah, but that's another thing about these days. Like, um, you know, when we were coming up, like, we
Mm,
didn't have this whole huge internet presence. It was more
yeah.
so about instant messaging and
Hmm.
shit like that.
True.
Excuse me. But nowadays, it's all about who can have the most followers,
Hmm.
who can make the biggest presence. It's all about being the center of attention. Whereas in our days, it was just about being cool.
Yeah.
That's it. But yeah, totally different age. So I could see where a little bit of the pressure would be absolutely different from what we would experience,
Hmm.
compared to what they are experiencing these days.
Yeah. Another uh, another point in pressure is parents. Parents can put pressure on kids as well to perform in ways that they feel like is not either it's not fun, or they don't want to be in that type of mindset. It just puts too much pressure. Like, get good grades.
Right,
That's all I want to see. I don't care about
right.
you playing around. Get good grades.
Hmm.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, yeah. That's another thing. Like, you know, um, I don't know. Just from my experience in school,
Hmm.
if my kids aren't doing that great, it wouldn't be to just like be hard on them. It'd
Yeah.
just be to like either one, move their schools, or two, just
Hmm.
let it play out. Let it
Yeah.
play out. Like, it's truly nothing to stress about. Like, if you let kids make mistakes, you won't be building these fucking maniacs
Hmm.
for the future. Like,
Yeah.
yo, let a kid be a kid. And, now once they hit that point, like 12, 13, now, okay, you can start taking on responsibility now. So that's
Yeah.
when you can start putting a little pressure on them. But just putting them pressure on them throughout their entire childhood, hell no. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Because a lot of kids don't even talk about what's going on
Mm,
um, when something is the matter at school. It's hard enough with the kids, but then when you elevate from kids to, say, teachers, um, some of these teachers out here, either they care or they don't care. Okay,
yeah,
it's either you pass my class or you don't. I don't care what
yeah,
you got going on with the kids around you. It ain't my problem. So some teachers can be like that.
true.
So that puts extra pressure, because then now you feel like no one is there to support you in any type of way. And you either got to figure it out. It's like, okay, do I endure this for the 3 years before I go to high school, or do I open my mouth and say something to someone, and then potentially it'll get out and make me look even worse? Um, and then you just got to sit with it at that point.
Yeah. Like, I think, definitely at least up until your junior year.
Hmm.
Well, really, I mean, it should be your sophomore year of high school.
Hmm.
I don't believe you should really be worried about a supposed reputation or
Yeah.
what you be judged on, because, like, at the end of the day, like, it's
Hmm.
not really going to. I mean, it's not really going to matter at all. It really doesn't matter. But I mean, in the bigger scheme of things, it's really not going to matter
Yeah,
at all. Like,
mm, for sure. And to take this a little bit deeper, let's really talk to the people that or the kids that really don't understand that their life hasn't even been lived yet before
oh
they take
yeah,
drastic measures.
oh yeah. I
You
mean,
know.
that just not even pertaining to just school alone, just
Hmm.
any type of decision that affects the longevity or just any long-term decision that you think you may want to make
Yeah.
under the age of 18.
Hmm.
I believe like you should truly just, write it down, keep it on the list. And if you truly still feel that way once you hit 18, then absolutely make that decision. But uh, uh
But don't.
there's a lot of life to be lived. And I know situations can be seeming like
Hmm.
there is no out, but I mean there's whenever even when you don't see hope, there is hope somewhere
Yeah,
out there. Like, trust and believe. Like,
for
trust the
sure.
process. Like, yeah, like that would be my biggest takeaway is just trust the process. Like, don't be so quick to just make a decision because it makes this situation better, or
Yeah.
like you're feeling this way, even no matter how strong you're truly feeling about that.
Hmm.
Now, and that is not pertaining to abuse and got to be careful
Hmm.
with the word choice. So I'm
Yeah.
just gonna leave it at abuse. Like, definitely any type of abuse, mental, verbal, physical.
Hmm.
Yeah, definitely bring that up to somebody. Like, definitely. But other than that, like, as far as like decisions like pertaining to how you will live or what you would do, like,
Hmm.
savor that until
Yeah.
you hit adulthood.
Yeah. For sure. I tell everyone, listen, you haven't gotten there just yet. First off, you're still in school. So
Right,
any type
right.
of heavy feelings you have towards your situation right now, just dig it
You gotta
out
think about it,
because
it's not even really real because you
hmm
don't have any true responsibility at that point. You're
exactly.
still living with some under somebody else's roof.
Yeah.
You're still yeah, you don't have anything in your name. You're not
Hmm.
able to do anything truly yet. So like, yeah,
Yeah,
that
get your
that's
first job and see how you feel. Um
but yeah. And then remember, your first job is just your first job. So even the stress you may feel from that job isn't even the
mhm,
true stress of a job. Like, yeah,
exactly. Everything's gonna press you in some way. With this
yeah,
world and the way it goes, not everything is flowers,
absolutely.
and stuff like that. You gotta take what you can out of it and make it good for you.
Right. All the time. All the
Hmm.
time.
Hmm.
Because at the end of the day, you have to look out for yourself. And even if that means, well, actually, that's not all right. So, yeah. I'm so happy I thought about that before that came out of my mouth.
God
All
himself.
right. Yeah. Oh, wonderful. So, yeah, but back on that, like, definitely decisions, you know, they're things that do there's some things that do require deeper thought than your mind may be able to comprehend at your current stage, especially if you're still in school. Now, in school is going all the way from elementary all the
Uh,
way up to high school, and
yeah.
even still college. But that college is more so if you're staying in a dorm or you are staying with your parents. If you are staying by yourself, okay, you got that. That's responsibility. But I mean, Yeah.
For people that want to get in contact with us, if you guys have any stories that you want to give us or send us, right there on the screen is our email. It is riskyimpact
Absolutely.
podcast at
Podcast.
gmail.com. All
Yes.
right.
My apologies, everybody. And also, if you do have any topics that you would like for us to go over, definitely send us an email, riskyimpactpodcast@gmail.com. Also,
Mhm.
our socials, those will be displayed shortly. Um, yeah, send those to us. And yeah, until the
And for
next
any
time,
information, you guys should always
yeah,
check in the description box. We'll always have everything down there.
absolutely. Um, until the next time, y'all be easy, be safe.